Welcome to week 13. Thank you for bearing with me all these weeks. I hope you've been enjoying the crafts and the play scheme games that we've been doing. And this week we're sticking with our summer theme and adding a blend of the animal theme, and we're going to be making a summer seahorse. There we go. Just one of those like that. So this week you are going to need from your kit your glue, your scissors, and your pens, most definitely. Let's pop that to the side. And you're also going to need the white piece of A4 paper, the googly eye, and the cupcake cases. So what we're going to start with is the body of our seahorse, and this is going to be a real challenge for you. I didn't give you any templates whatsoever. We're going to be doing it freehand, and that means drawing it from scratch. But don't worry, it's just a new challenge for you. Just something to see how we get on. Don't worry how it turns out. If you're a bit worried about it, try drawing it in pencil first so you can always rub it out. And then when you're happy, use the pen to go over it or just cut out the pencil lines. It's up to you. So what we're going to do is start with the head. And the head is a sort of squashed ball shape. So go quite to the top of your paper and start with a capital C, like that. And then we're going to take the line down so it looks a bit like a cane, and curve it round so that it looks like a staple, and that's the head of our seahorse. Then do brackets for the neck. So when you're writing and you put something in brackets, the one that goes to the end when you're finished, the closed brackets one, we're going to do that on the left hand side. So a back to front C. So we'll do a back to front C like that. And then on the right hand side, where the nose shape is, we're going to do a open bracket, a curly C. So it goes like that. Now it looks a sort of doorknob shape for like a kitchen drawer or something like that. Now our seahorse needs a big tummy. So starting from the front part where we did the neck with the C shape, we're going to give our seahorse a big belly. So this is going to be a huge sidey shaped hill, like a big back to front C. And we're going to take that down to about 3/4 of the way down the page. So I'll do that first and then you can see what I mean by 3/4. So a big hill goes out past the nose of our seahorse and comes back in. So that's the sort of shape that we're looking for there. And then on the back of the seahorse, it's just his back, but he's got a sticky outy bit. I don't know if you can see the back of this seahorse, but he's got a sticky out bit here. You can't really see that when he's got all his bits and pieces on. So he's got 2 of those. So it's a sort of M, a squashed M shape, or a squashed sort of line seagull. So from the left hand side of the closed bracket back to front C, where we had the neck, we'll do our back to front M. And now it looks like a strange alien, like that. And then the fun part, his tail. So the back does another back to front C, a closed bracket, but then we take it round and do a big C with a long tail like that. Then we curve it round as if we're going to be making a circle, but it's like a G. See it like that? Looks like a G. And that's going to be his curly tail. We're just going to put it round, and then as if we're doing a C, join it up with the front there so it looks like a G. Don't worry if you didn't get that. There's pictures that follow the video, and you can always rewind and fast forward and pause the video if you need to see the seahorse again. So I'll just hold that up again for you, and you can press pause there if you need to see the picture a bit longer so you know what you're drawing. I just thought it would be a challenge. Something different, instead of all the templates and everything being given to you every week. Wanted to see what you could do on your own. Don't worry though, you can always ask somebody for help if it's too tricky for you. Now this bit, colouring in. I went for a rainbow on my seahorse, but you could do whatever design you wanted. You could have a camouflage seahorse, you could have a ninja seahorse, an alien seahorse, a unicorn seahorse. The choice is yours. There's so many things that you could do with it. It's your seahorse. You could even, if you wanted to try and use your pens to sort of blend it to make it look like a natural seahorse with the colours they have in the wild, it's fine. Your seahorse, your choice. So I'm going for a rainbow design like I did on the one I've already made. So I'll just start at the top with the rainbow, and you'll remember that the rainbow is Roy G. Biv. It's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. I won't go through the whole story I did, I think it was a couple of months ago now, with the panda and the rainbow. Won't bore you with that again. So I'm just going to do the rainbow all across the body of my seahorse. And with this one, it doesn't matter if you go over the lines because you're going to be cutting it out. But try and do a neat job anyway, because you want your seahorse to look nice when you're finished with it. You need just a rushed job. So I'm going to do this here. That's the red. And I'm just going to continue with my rainbow, and I'll probably pause the video and phase it onto a next bit when I'm further down. So you think, ooh, fast colouring. It's just the way the video is moved on to the next part. So I'll see you in a bit. One thing I will mention when you're colouring in is to give yourself a goal so you know where you're colouring to. So if I do a line there, I know that that's where the green finishes. So I'll just colour up to that line. Once you start a new colour, do the line where you want the colour to end and colour up to that point, and then you'll get a rough idea of how much colour you want to do for each part of your seahorse. But again, if you're doing your own design, it's up to you what you do. Nearly there. When you get to the tail, keep doing the same process of doing a line so you know where to stop, and that line will help you curve round the tail and keep the colours looking neat. Also, when you're colouring in, try and keep the pen going in the same direction rather than up and down and in circles and everything, just so it gives it a neater finish. Nearly there, I'll come back soon. Last section now, so I'm just going to finish off the purple on the tail of the seahorse, and that's it done. And that's how my one's finished, but it'll depend on what pattern you've chosen for your seahorse, how it's going to turn out. So once we've done that, we can cut it out. Now, some of you find cutting out tricky, but it's just something that you need to practice to get good at. You don't just pick up a pair of scissors and cut something out first go. Just practice, 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 and you'll get good at it like everything else. So I'm going to start at the top. Now take your time with this and do a neat job so that you get nice rounded edges for your seahorse. And I'll pause the video here and catch up with you in a bit. Back again. I just thought that some of you might find the tail a bit tricky. So what I've done is cut some of the paper we don't need out of the way, so it's easier to get into the curvy bits of the tail. So start on the outside and just take our time and cut round the curvy bits of the tail. I'm doing it a bit quicker because just for the video, but you take your time. And then when you get into the inside part of the tail, you're just following the line and taking your time. So just follow the line round, like so. Because the seahorse will need a nice curvy tail to be able to grab onto kelp and stuff to anchor themselves in the current in the sea. So that's him cut out there. I'll just get rid of these extra bits of paper. Remember to recycle, don't leave them lying about. And it's time for the cupcake cases. So what you're aiming to do with these is cut them into quarters. So you cut it into half, and then for quickness, put it like that, and cut it half again. And then you've got quarters. So again, cut it in half, put them together for quickness, and in half again. And you've got quarters. And if you're wanting to be really quick, take all of your cupcake cases and don't pull them apart. Cut them in half, put them together, and cut them in half again. And that's all your cupcake cases cut into quarters, and they've been randomised for you as well. There we go. I'll take my seahorse back to the front, move the scissors out of the way, and I'll get my glue. Now usually we'll leave the eyes and what we call embellishments, the bits and pieces to finish it off, we usually leave that till last. But a tip I found when I was doing my first seahorse was to put the face on first And then that gave me an idea where to put the cupcake cases to make the frills. Because if I'd just put the cupcake cases on first, it might not have left me with enough room to do the face properly. So we're going to get our googly eye, and it's a peely one that I've gave you. So we'll just peel the back off. You can ask for help from someone if it's too tricky. Or you could just put glue on your seahorse and stick the eye down. So I'll just pop the paper to the side. And I'm going to put the eye there. And then I'm going to take the black pen and I'm going to give him some nostrils for breathing. And that's the seahorse's face there. And then get our glue, and on the back of the seahorse's head, we're just going to put a lot of glue onto the head like that. Lots and lots and lots. And onto the neck as well. Just onto the back, following the line of the back of the head. Then I'm going to go for green and blue for my first ones. Doesn't matter which ones you choose first. And I'm going to stick the first piece of cupcake case near the seahorse's eye. And that's going to give him a sort of weird punk mohawk look there. There we go. And I'll take the blue one and just pop that one beside it, pat it down, and I'll go for red and stick that down onto there, and yellow, and stick that onto the seahorse's neck. And there you can see we're starting to build up the parts of the seahorse's mane like that. So now take our glue again, and on the back of the seahorse we're going to put more glue along the back like so. Just down to the tail, but not on the tail. Like so. And you can guess what we're going to do. We're going to put more cupcake cases on. But before we do, we're going to pick one out. What have I got most of? I think I gave you 2 cupcake cases the same colour. I'm going to go for green. So keep that one to the side and I'll tell you why in a bit. And then just take a cupcake case, pat it down onto the back of the seahorse and repeat. So all the way along the back of the seahorse we're going to put some cupcake case pieces. Just like that. Go pink again. It doesn't have to follow a pattern, it can be whatever you want it to be. You can even have 2 the same colour beside each other, no biggie. It's just whatever way you want to put them on. And that's me got to the bottom of the seahorse like that. And then we repeat. But we put the glue on top of the cupcake cases that we've already stuck down. So just all the way along the cupcake cases, not doing very well today, that we've already stuck down, like so. And then just pop the cupcake cases on top of those. Hide it underneath. like so. This is like the seahorse's mane. And then once you get to the end, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. So I'll just put a blob of glue on top of those cupcake cases there. And a little bit underneath just to stick those down a bit. And then just repeat the process. So we've got that one's there and that one there. Oh, hiding. Camouflage. Just pop that there. And then just give it a squash down. And that's the mane of your seahorse, like that. And the one that we kept to the side, if you imagine where a seahorse's fin would be on his body, so just above the stomach but below the neck, put a blob of glue there, and we'll put it with the sort of concertina frilly bit of the cupcake case down the way. Stick it down like that, and that's the fin for the seahorse. And if you want to add anything extra to it, did you keep sequins from your ice cream cone a couple of weeks ago, or did you use them all? If you've got some spare, you could stick them onto your seahorse just to give it a bit of bling. So remember, your sequins are sort of like a dish sort of shape, so some of the edges point up. So pointing up, stick that side down onto your glue, and then you can just pop them along the tail or wherever you want to put them. And that could jazz up your seahorse a bit. Like so. Oh, I'm going to give mine a belly button piercing, because they're like that. Pop the lid on the glue, because we don't need that. And that is your seahorse. It's up to you how you want to design your one, if it's the rainbow style, unicorn, camouflage, ninja, alien, natural colours of a seahorse. Completely up to you. And then it's up to you what pattern or anything you want to do with the cupcake cases. And that's it. After this part of the video, you're going to have your pictures showing you the sections of how to do your seahorse, and then you'll see me again and I'll go over the game that we're doing this week for Play Scheme. See you in a bit. Now, I don't know if you would have paid attention to the letter that was in with your craft pack when you first got it at the start of the month, but I said to keep 2 kitchen rolls handy, the tubes, because we would be needing them. Unfortunately, I didn't go through enough kitchen roll to get enough, so I've got some loo roll tubes here, but I wouldn't really recommend using those, but it's just for my use. I would recommend that you stick to the kitchen roll tubes for you. So, this game is blow football. So you've got your tubes, you'll have 2 straws from your kit, 2 lolly sticks, your fun size bag of Maltesers, and your pitch. So what we need to do first is we've set up our pitch, we need to set up our goals. So keep your scissors from your craft and take your kitchen roll tube and cut it in half. So if you just do to one side, turn it round and then get it to meet in the middle again, and that's it cut in half. There we go. And then take your scissors again and at the top of the tube cut down just I'm not sure if you can see that, but from your scissors, just sort of one blade length of your scissors. So cut 1 blade length down of your tube, do that to the other one, and then get the other tubes, cut down, get the scissors out of the way, get a lolly stick, pop that down into the slit you've made in your tube, and just manoeuvre it a bit, and that's one goal. You can decorate it if you want, if you're still feeling crafty, or you can just leave it plain, up to you. So just pop that onto the goal there. What I'm going to do is turn it round so that it's facing you. Makes more sense. So that's one goal on that side, and then take your other lolly stick, pop that into one of the other tubes, and then pop it into the slit on the last tube, and again adjust it so you've got a decent gap for the goal, and pop that on that side, and that's your pitch. So this is usually for 2 players, but obviously you're not going to be able to play with me. But you'd have a 2-player, so 2 straws. I've got paper straws here, and I think I gave you all paper straws as well. And so, given the current climate with the virus and everything, I would recommend at the moment that you would just play this game with your household, not with people out with your household, because you're going to be blowing through the straw. You'll be blowing at each other, and don't really recommend that at the moment. But later on you could, if you still like the game. There'll be a link to find another pitch if your one gets wrecked. And you can use any round sweetie, chocolate or whatever you've got, or even I don't think a marble would work. I think that would be too heavy. So I've just gone for a Malteser. So put that into the middle there, like you're going to kick off. And then goal! Obviously you'd be playing against someone else, so they wouldn't make it that easy for you to score a goal. They would be blowing as well to stop you getting at their goal. And that's about it really for the game. You can be at the side, that side, over the top, through the goal, whatever gives you the best vantage point for blowing the Malteser into your opponent's goal. And then if you score a goal, you've won that ball, so you can eat it. That's why, another reason why I chose Maltesers. So that's about it for the game. If you've bought oranges or anything like that lately, you could keep the netting from the orange punnet and use that to put netting at the back of your goal to catch your Malteser and stop it falling off the table or wherever you're playing. You could colour in your pitch. Choice is yours. Make the game into something that you enjoy, and that's it for Blow Football. Not much to it really, but it was just coming up with ideas that you could do at home during lockdown, and then like last week we did elastics that you could play that outside. So it'll be a bit of variety of indoors, outdoors games, because at the time of making the Operation Crafty Capers programme, I didn't know at what stage of lockdown we would be in as we progressed, and I needed to make the programme from weeks 1 to 18 at the start so I could buy all the various craft items and game items ready for posting out to you every month. So I hope you're enjoying it, and I'll see you next week, which is week 14 of Operation Crafty Capers, and I'll have another craft game and there'll be the quiz for you. You'll get your quiz at the end of the game here, and there's also the joke for you. Cheesy joke, but you can remember it and tell your chums. So take care, stay safe, and I'll see you again next week. Bye just now.